We have a question from, ironically, a viewer named Dan. And Dan from Jupiter writes that he already owns a home with a mortgage, and he's recently purchased a condo that's under construction. So that's the background. Here's the issue. He plans on keeping them both, and he wants to know what you think is the best way to structure the financing on the two properties. Is it possible to roll them together into one jumbo mortgage?
First of all, Dan from Jupiter, just so you know, was not me.
No.
I did not send in my own question. I assume that the second property,
under construction,
he's going to keep but not going to move into it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he's keeping that for investment purposes for rentals. So the question about putting them both in the same mortgage, that could be done as a commercial type loan. You can cross-collateralize a number of properties. Not the best way to do it for a number of reasons. If you keep both these loans as straight residential type loans, you're going to end up with a better rate and more options and loan products, keeping them separate. One as your primary residence, one as a non-occupied income-generating property. The other problem with cross-collateralizing property is you have to make sure you're able to sell one of them without selling both at any time. So if you keep the two separate on two separate mortgages, as your situation changes, if you ever want to sell one of the properties, maybe you end up selling your primary, moving into the rental property, whatever, you don't have to worry about them both being tied up by the same mortgage instrument.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, I think the only thing that we see is a lot of people will put a second mortgage on their home if they have a lot of equity, then to buy an investment property, and what would be the advantage of that?
Again, I don't like to give you a rule of thumb because it depends on what kind of second mortgage product you're going to get on your first mortgage. In some cases, it may make sense to look at the equity, refinance your whole first mortgage on your primary residence, take that equity out and use it to either pay cash or to put a larger deposit down on the investment property, because the investment property would normally incur a higher interest rate.
And you get to write off the interest rate on your home.
Exactly, as opposed to writing off the expense of the interest on the investment.